every human being should try to be a good human being.
Right.
And there's a lot of people in this environmental business that are, and there's also some that aren't. And you try and get along with the ones that are, which is easy, and the ones that aren't, you try to keep away from. What else can you do? And people are nice all over the world.
Now let's not
even in New York.
It's being apart from it. You sail, say, around Manhattan Island, go up the East River, the North River, and you see this teeming metropolis, and you're apart from all that, you know? Even though you can reach out and grab them, so to speak, and you'd be so insignificant if you were among them. But to see these skyscrapers, so many of them, you know, it's almost like an anthill. I'm glad I'm apart from them, so to speak. I love them all, so to speak, but I'd rather be away from them.
Oh, the tugboating? Oh, I always wanted to do that ever since I was a little kid. I remember looking out my back window and seeing the tugs going by in Quincy Bay and taking the new ships out of Fore River shipyard and taking the tankers up to Fore River and saw the old steam tugs from Boston Tow and saw them change over to diesel. And I remember being 14 years old and going down to the waterfront in Boston and seeing if I could get a job, not knowing anything about tugboats, of course. And working a summer doing some painting, you know, painting and shipping. Actually, it wasn't shipping; it were all wooden boats then, and just doing some painting and on some of the boats, and you know, they let me on as a favor, you know.
I remember the first job I went on. I was 8 years old, and I'm telling you, I thought I was on the boat for 2 weeks. It just took so long. It was dark when we went out. It was dark when we got home. I was most impressed with New York. It was amazing, you know. City of lights. It's unbelievable.
I guess my sons really become addicts, you know. They loved it ever since they were little kids. And they've become very skillful at it.
Well, we're all assigned a certain job, you know. My two brothers, they steer both boats, you know. And I'm one of the deckhands, my brother-in-law is the other deckhand. So we all have our assigned jobs. And that's it. No fighting over, I think I'll steer today, although I'd like to sometimes, like when it's raining or it's cold. But I can't seem to get him out on deck, so I'll do the running around.
That's the Robert E. Lee. That's a lash ship. That stands for lighter aboard ship. They carry barges with little scows. It's like they have the milkman run. They spread them out all over the place, and then they give them the empties, and then they bring them back, and they reload them with cargo.
It has a movable crane, a gantry. It just latches onto these things so that they just pick it up and just come right to the stern. So they just lower the thing into the water, and the tug takes it away.
I think about Saab.
What do you think about?
Saab 9000 turbo.
That's a turbo, no, tugboat.
Every person's job is just as important as the next person, so we sort of shift around, and whenever one person gets tired, you just go lay down and the other person will steer for a while. Pretty much the same with everybody on here.
But he may handle lines for me, I may do the job up there, I may be down on deck, you know, I mean, we all pitch in together here, it's like a little family.
Every job ties in with the next one. I mean, I got to keep the junk running so he can throw lines so the captain can drive the boat to do the job. And if I don't keep it running, he can't do his job. He can't do his job. I can't do mine. It's just one of those things, a big wheel.
Every crew is different. There's crews that just come together, they work, and that's it. But this is kind of like a family type arrangement, especially this crew, you know, this watch. That's just the way it is.
Well, right now
you're gonna spend at least half your life here, so you got to make it as good as the other half when you're on your time off.
A lot of people think we're low life.
Well, speak for yourself.
I can remember when we were looked down on as seamen by these people on ships.
Oh,
They
sure.
had gone through the academies and all
We've
that
always
stuff.
been
We
a
were-
second-class citizen.
Now you get these fellows that come out of these merchant marine academies, they have no ships to go to. So now they're taking over these jobs that they used to look down their noses at 20, 30 years ago.
You gotta look at it this way, too. Ever since Little Toot, the kids love us.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true.
There was a kid story about a tugboat.
A little tugboat. Yeah, a little tugboat.
What was the name of that boat?
Tuggy, the tugboat or something. I don't know.
I don't know what story it was. The little tugboat that
What
the
was
barge.
that?
It was
Little
blue
Tubby,
and
the
the smoke
tugboat.
came out.
There was a book called The Little Red Tugboat that I read when I was younger, and it was one of those books that described how boats move up and down in the waves.
I remember one time these poor guys were pushing something out of Quincy Bay, and we had like a skiff with a 7.5-foot outboard on it, and a smaller boat towing a short hawser behind us. And we used to go out and do some clam digging, you know, dig clams and sea worms to sell at the bait shops and stuff like that. And we were catching up with this tug and playing around on the wake. And the poor deckhand was back there. He thought we were going to capsize and all that, you know, and he's waving us off and everything. But this kind of stuff we used to do, you know, and kind of emulate what the tugs were doing with a little skiff and an outboard, you know, and towing something behind it and just having fun.
Most of the time it's great. There are times I wish I was working in an office sometimes, but not really. No, I wouldn't trade for anything. I've been doing it all my life. I'm used to it. Just take the good with the bad. That's all.
It's been a good life. It's no life for family, man. If someone's totally involved with a family, children and stuff like that, this isn't the work with them. My kids run from 40 to 20 years old. Half of them I don't know simply because I haven't been home that much. But on the same token, it's been a good lucrative job over the last few years. So, I mean, it's a trade-off.
I had my son. I broke him in on the boats. Eventually, if he gets married, he'll have his son on the boats. Well, like a family affair, I would say, you know.
That's the way it is. And you'd go to Mozambique, Africa, and if you meet some sailors there from the USSR or whatever, everybody would still, you know, you'd sit in a bar and you'd talk sea stories and this and that. It's a family.
This industry, call it, attracts a certain kind of people, or people who have certain needs. Mariners are a little bit different than other people. By working in the harbor, you feel so much a part of the whole body of water, I guess. And you know it in such a detailed way. It's exciting to me. I think the motion of water and the awesome nature of it, and feeling comfortable with that is, it sort of makes your humanness diminish, so you're part of something much greater.
Oh, every day is different. That's one thing. Just the lighting alone is different. You've seen a place 1,000 times, but each time it's a little bit different. Yeah, I don't remember that. It's the same place you've seen, but the shadows are different. The light is different. I never saw that before. What's the best time? I think would be summertime, twilight, high water, on a calm day. It's a nice job, I feel. It's the one that's held my interest in all these years, ever since I was a little boy. they're grown old.